Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative. Me too, Jason Cohen, about Dated and Related, which recently dropped on Netflix. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely. My pleasure. I'm really excited to be here.
It's pretty crazy because there's always been an appetite for reality TV and competition shows, and they drop and people go crazy, and it's probably just been nonstop on your end so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really, really exciting. I mean, Jersey boy coming to LA. It's been nothing but just meeting new people, finding a little bit more about the industry. It's been really fun and challenging at the same time, but definitely my type of vibe. So couldn't ask for more.
In terms of, I always love asking this because it's always 50-50 because sometimes people are like no, or sometimes people are yes. There's kind of no in between. What was for you, for Jason Cohen, what was the interest and knowledge of reality TV prior to Dated and Related?
So honestly, for the longest time, I always had friends basically telling me you would be great for this. I'm a pretty extroverted individual.
Yep.
I'm like the life of the party. I always love going out, talking to people, meeting new friends. And I just kind of thought this might be a good challenge for me, getting on TV. Prior to the show, I was actually acting, and I had the opportunity to go on with Netflix, travel to France. So when I heard those two big things come up, I'm like, I got to give this a shot.
Yeah.
So, doing the audition process, it was definitely pretty competitive. But I mean, my cousin Chris and I, we had big enough personalities to make it through. I think it was like 40,000 applicants. So it was pretty...
Did you know the premise of the show, like when you auditioned for it?
So actually during the audition process, I didn't really know the premise. We didn't know the name of the show. We just knew that you needed to have a sibling.
Untitled reality show.
Yeah. It was pretty like low key. And I think it's a good part on Netflix's side to do that because I didn't even know it was Netflix. I feel like if you know it's Netflix, it might be more biased personality. Like I don't really know, the psychology behind it. But as far as the interview process, I mean, they did an incredible job. And when we went through that, I didn't know anything. I just knew that I had my sibling, which was my cousin in my instance. So it was even more of like a crazier event that we made it because they really just wanted brothers and sisters. But Chris and I, we just really whacked this one out of the park, and we were just such a good duo. They were like, we need you guys. So
that's so awesome. Yeah, no, it's true. It's you broke the rules even before the show started, basically.
No, Jersey.
Yeah. So that's interesting then. So you officially find out about this, and you find out like reality show Netflix. Given the track record of all these amazing Netflix reality shows, Love is Blind, I mean, is there a lot of like I'm sure it's just nonstop kind of like overwhelming kind of thoughts about a lot of stuff, right? Because there's pressure, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, first getting on the show, it was pretty straight out the gates, I was just like, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Like the opportunity was just amazing to be in France with my the greatest wingman of all time, Chris, like my best friend, cousin, family member. If I was ever to do a show like that, like looking back at Two Out the Handle, to go on a show like that by yourself, like now going through the whole process, I'm like, wow, like kudos to those guys. Like, cheers, man. It's tough. So, but to do that with my family member was just even more impressive to, if you had an awkward spot, bounce off each other and stuff. And, it just was, it was a great experience. So after the show, it definitely is overwhelming. You go from like 0 to 100 really quick. Everyone's hitting you up. I have people that are telling me they're my family member from like 1865. Like, I don't know, like message me on Instagram, and it's overwhelming, going through everything. But at the end of the day, it's definitely a well worth experience for sure.
You mentioned, acting, and I believe, you had a little role in Hustle with Adam Sandler. You're in that. And it's one of those things too, where, was your main kind of passion like acting before this? Like, what are other things that you're specifically into as well?
Yeah. So my life story before the show is actually pretty interesting. I was actually studying in pre-med school. I was at Ursinus College.
Okay.
I have pretty much I was studying my butt off. I was about to go to medical school. I was working at Rothman Orthopedics with the orthopedic clinic. I was a research coordinator. I got to do some great research there. Not to bore you with that, I was also a college wrestler. So that was kind of like my main system. But as a young kid, I actually have an identical twin brother. And my mother used to drive us to New York every weekend. So we were doing auditions, getting acting classes since I was a little kid. And that was kind of like a big thing for me. But I didn't really appreciate that as a younger guy. And as I got older, I started to like really be more interested in acting as an art and using my creative mind to really, lean towards that. Yeah. So after I finished medical school or pre-med school, getting my bachelor's in that, I took my MCAT, was applying for med school, and it was just a tough process for me. But somewhere, I think it was during COVID, I was like, as things were slow, I just started applying for acting jobs. I started getting roles. So I did a couple small feature films, and that was picking up, and that's kind of where the Netflix opportunity came up. But as you mentioned, Hustle, I played a background position for that. I always, sometimes the background roles come up, but you never know who you're going to meet. And, I met some great people on set. I got to see, and I try to take every opportunity as much as I can, just being on set, meeting producers, directors, other actors and actresses, learning. I'm quite a sponge.
So you have an identical twin brother?
I do. I have an identical twin brother, yes.
Are you guys close?
Extremely close.
Not close enough to be data related with you.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about
you're setting me up for that. Come on, I have to ask that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my twin brother Justin, Jason and Justin. I mean, we are definitely we're two peas in a pod. The thing that happened there is he was actually in a really hardcore relationship then with this girl.
Yeah. Okay. Because they're both single, right? That's the premise, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're pretty loyal guys when we're in a relationship. Like I said on the show, I'm a lover boy.
No. That makes me come off like a jerk now. Like, it makes total sense why he wasn't.
No. It's definitely, it's a given thing. Yeah. So my twin brother, we are tight, but even, I think I don't know how competitive we would have been with each other on the show. So Chris and I think we were just a great duo to bounce off each other. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother's comedy is pretty good, but I just think when I'm with Chris, we're a good team.
What are some of those conversations with Chris while you're shooting it? And also the times where it's just you guys hanging out or not on camera. I'm always interested in the strategic chats when you have that kind of off camera time to talk to him. What's that like? As much as you could tell me, basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, off camera, we're really trying to make it to the end. And people are getting kicked out. And we're like, dude, we got to make moves. There was definitely a couple other flings that, they can't put everything in the show, as far as the timing. Mm-hmm. But the plans that me and him were coming up with are just hilarious. I'm like, all right, we need to go with this or that. And, something falls out. I'm flirting with one girl and she gets kicked out. And then another one. So, I mean, some of our conversations were just absolutely hilarious. But our plans were essentially to stay in there, make a bond with a girl, move forward, get to as many episodes as possible. Find actually a love interest. I'm an open-minded guy. Mm-hmm. I was open to any of the girls there. Hit it off of personality-wise. So, but it was tough. It's challenging. They're bringing more and more guys in. So it was a great experience. So
no, absolutely, it's crazy working on this. I'm curious. Did you call it because did you rap when you wrapped the show? When it was over for you guys, that was your rap, right? Of data related, basically. What is that kind of mindset when you're done with the show? Do you want to go on another reality show? Do you need a break? I'm just curious.
So actually, for me, what happened was, this is kind of crazy. Right after we wrapped, I actually went to Germany for a couple days because I'm in Europe. Instead of flying right back home, our flight back to, back to Jersey was in Frankfurt. And my mom is from Germany. So I visited some family there, spent some time there. But as I was reflecting in Germany, I was there for 10 days. It was just almost hard to process it because I'm waking up in my family's house in Germany. And I'm like, oh my God, the last 2 months I was in France. I missed it. I missed everybody. It was, everybody on the show was bonded pretty hard. It's funny. You really do feel like family in there because everybody, I don't know the chances to get on a reality TV show, but it's definitely pretty competitive. You have to have the personality, the looks, the vibe. Netflix has to like think, okay, like this guy is going to do good on the show.
Yeah.
So I don't know the chances, but just to be there with everybody and that bond, I feel like it's something that lasts forever. For sure.
Oh, absolutely. Jason, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. It was great chatting with you, man.
Yeah, absolutely, Pete. My pleasure.
Netflix, they can watch it right now. It's top 10 in a lot of countries right now, which is really, really awesome to see. And you have social media, right, that people can keep up to date with as well?
Yeah, my social media is Jason Cohen Official. That's my Instagram. On TikTok, a couple of the cast members live in California by Chris and I. So we're making TikToks like dancing and stuff. Daniel, Julia, let's see, Joey and Karina live here too. So we definitely got a lot of content to put out. We also have a YouTube channel, Jason Cohen and Chris Hahn.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other personal YouTube channels of mine, including fitness and stuff.
Yep.
And then my TikTok's Jason X Cohen.
Wicked, absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. Previous episodes you can check out. Jason Cohen and Dated and Related, streaming worldwide now on Netflix. Until next time, this is Jason and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.